Every single day at practice, I hope that there are tacos. We do something called the Milk Mile, which I think you've heard of.
I've seen some videos of that, and it seems like just a great time. I don't know if it's a great time for the guys running it, but for all of us watching
yeah.
it's so fun to live that through. Was there like a moment when you realized that track is for you and you kind of wanted to fully commit to track, like you said? Hey, I'm Luke here with Houghton Unscripted, Houghton's brand new podcast that we are shooting today, starting with episode 1. And here we have Victoria Brewster from the women's track and field team, and we're just going to sit down, ask some questions, and have a good conversation about her success and the season upcoming and the season that she just completed. So let's just get right into it. Tori, thank you for being here. Congrats on placing second in NCAA. Big accomplishment last week for indoor. Just kind of walk me through what was going through your head when you crossed the finish line in the finals race.
Honestly, the race was so close with a couple of the girls. I didn't know what place I actually got. So I was just looking at the board, waiting to see my time come up there. When I saw 7.49, I was super happy. I saw second place. I was just ecstatic with that result. I honestly just wanted to finish the race because once you finish a race in finals, you're All-American. That was my goal. So being second just way over exceeded my expectations, and I was super pumped about that.
Well, let's kind of take it back a little bit and talk about your career as a sprinter. So how long have you been a sprinter? Was there one point in your career when you realized this is my event? Was it in high school? Was it in college? Kind of walk us through that.
So I've done track as early as I was able to do it, which was 7th grade at my school. I joined the modified team, and I started off as a sprinter and a long jumper, which is what I do now. So I've pretty much just stuck with the same exact events. I was also mostly a 400 runner in middle school, and I've definitely taken a step back from that and focused more on the short sprints just because I'm better at that. And then in high school, my dad was my coach. That was a really great time for us, just being able to be on the team together and have him as my coach. So that's when I mostly focused on sprinting over long jumping, was starting in high school just because he recognized my potential, and then we worked on that together ever since. And then I knew I wanted to sprint in college, and then Houghton was the perfect fit for me, and now I'm here. So yeah, I've been sprinting ever since 7th grade.
Yeah, awesome. So let's take skill aside for a second. Out of all the events you've done and had the chance to do, which one do you think is your favorite? Which one do you have the most fun doing and you really enjoy?
Definitely the 60 meter dash. I also wasn't able to do that in high school because my school was really small. We didn't have indoor, so I did basketball in the winter. But coming to Houghton and being able to do the 60 for the first time was so fun just because such a short race. And the best part about my race is my start, which is a big part in the 60. So explosive, and yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of going back to your high school experience, tell us more about other sports you played and other things you were involved with, and how have those shaped you as a person and an athlete today?
Yeah. So I did say I was at a small school, and one part of being at a small school, kind of similar to Houghton, is that you can be involved in a lot of different parts, lots of different clubs and sports. So I did soccer, basketball, and track all throughout my high school career. I loved all those sports. They were really fun. I loved having the different variation of seasons. I was also involved in choir and high school musicals, student council, those types of student government things. Yeah, it was a really formative time in my life, being able to try out all these different activities, see which one I really was the most drawn to, and yeah, I stuck it out with track. So here I am.
Yeah, awesome. Kind of one more thing about your high school experience. Those are three great sports. Those are the three that I played as well. But was there a moment when you realized that track is for you and you kind of wanted to fully commit to track? Like you said earlier, your dad recognized your potential. Was there a moment for you when you realized that, wow, I have potential in track, and I kind of want to see where this thing goes?
Yeah, I think it was probably when I met with our coach Hager, my junior year of high school. I came to Houghton and met with him, and we just kind of talked about what I could be doing in college. He talked about the potential he saw in me, and that's when I kind of just decided to go with track rather than soccer, because I was trying to decide between the two. Yeah, and then my dad also did track and field here, a little bit of our family lore. So I wanted to follow in his footsteps and also do that. And yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah, awesome. Well, the program is definitely in a great spot right now, and looking forward to the program's outdoor season. What excites you about the outdoor season, shifting from inside to outside? What are some differences there, and like, what do you like about outdoor, and how do you see the season going?
Yeah, I'm definitely super excited for outdoor. Last year, I don't think I ever really got to my full potential. I've talked with my coach a little bit about this. I think I was burnt out just like coming from high school and having the variation of sports and then coming and just doing track for a whole year. It was a little bit of a hard transition, but this year I feel a lot better about things. I've been taking the rest when I need to, and I feel ready to go into outdoor. So I'm really excited about that. And then with outdoor, I run the 100 meter instead of the 60, which is just a little bit different in length. And just like running the 60 this year and feeling how just good it felt to run, and how much time I was able to shave off. I'm super excited to go into the 100 and see what I can do with that as well.
Yeah, awesome. Kind of a sidebar, you mentioned burnout there. I know that's a thing that a lot of student athletes have dealt with, on and off their respective sports, their playing fields, their courts, whatever it may be. How do you deal with something like that, and how do you see it kind of affecting your performance, and how do you deal with it when you really feel it in your life?
Yeah. Burnout, I think there's two main things that help with me. First of all is just recognizing that it is a privilege that we're able to compete, and just trying to find the joy in that, and like realizing this is a gift that God has given us, and like just being able to give him glory and all that. So that's number one. And then number two is just my teammates. When I don't feel like going to practice, I find myself showing up, and then as soon as I see my teammates, like I'm excited to be there, and they make me really want to push myself harder. So those two things, just like my relationship with God, my relationship with my teammates, they really have helped this year a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think that community aspect is a really big part of it. And, as an athlete myself on my team, I know that seeing my teammates every day is one of the biggest parts that keeps me coming back, and one of my favorite parts about, being on the team. Kind of sticking on the outdoor topic, what is an event you haven't ran or competed in that you think would be super fun if you could just do for the fun of it?
I think triple jump would be super fun. I have a little bit of history with it. I did it in high school a little, but long jump was my main jumping event, and then my best event is sprints, so I kind of have been focusing on that. But if I had the chance, I think I would like to do triple jump just like one time, see how it goes, see if I can do better than I did in high school. Yeah, so
a big part of our life at Houghton is our faith and our faith in God, and I know that really integrates itself into our lives as student athletes. So talk to me a little bit about how you've seen God working through the indoor season, and just how you've really relied on him through the ups and the downs of the season, and just as a student overall.
Yeah. I feel like my theme for this season was like where I'm placing my value, like who I'm placing my value in. A verse that I wrote on my spikes is Galatians 1:10, and that says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." So one thing I really struggled with is like being bold about my faith. And that verse just helps me realize like whose opinion truly matters here. Like, is it people or is it God? And ultimately it's God's. So yeah, that just helps me throughout all my races, just like being in constant prayer, like being focused on God. And even if my races don't go well, I know my value's not found in that. It's found in the Creator. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that kind of plays to the whole idea of having an audience of one, rather than just all the people in the stands and all the people with opinions and whatever. And I'm sure that helps you a lot when you're trying to drown out the noise outside. So specifically, like when you're about to race, is there like a specific routine that you have that kind of integrates with your faith and your, trust in God? Like what kind of goes on in your mind before you race?
I try to get warmed up and fully ready for my race a couple minutes early so that I can find a quiet place, maybe like corner of the track area, or even like a side room where I can just be alone and pray and talk to God and, ask him to give me strength and just thank him for everything he's been able to do. So that's a big part of it. I'll also like to pray with my teammates if a couple of us are in the same event, or even if we're in different events. Me and Alexa, who's the high jumper, for the past couple of meets, we started this routine of just like praying together before the meet even starts. So that's been really good. And then just like sitting down, trying to still myself. I get super anxious. So just like, talking to God and trying to calm myself down before I race.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about how Alexa, your teammate, has kind of helped you with that. And, especially you guys competing at regionals and nationals together. How has your relationship with her been? And how has it kind of positively affected your performance, you feel?
Yeah. Alexa is the best, guys. Like, everyone needs to meet her. She's so sweet. But yeah, we started growing closer, I think, halfway through the season because we started doing overnight meets and we would share a hotel room together. Like, we share the bed and just have like lots of late night talks and get to know each other better. And then going throughout the season, just like growing closer through those hotel stays and through the overnight meets. And then when I found out she's winning nationals, it just like, I don't know, I was just so happy for her because going through that in general is super exciting, but going through it with one of your teammates is so much better. And just being able to like have someone to share your stresses and anxieties about and like your hopes and just being there with someone else and having that whole experience, it was super great, super amazing.
Yeah. So you would say it feels so much better to, be able to go through those trials with someone else and rather than just, going through them on your own and knowing that Alexa or another teammate has your back. And I'm sure there's plenty of people on the track team that are like that for you. Kind of talk to us about how like the size of the track team and just having so many teammates to reach out to, coaches to reach out to. How does that help you go through these various, tough times in your life or your season?
I love the size of the track team. It's great because there's so many different communities within it. We have like the big track team. We have throwers and sprinters and the long distance and then the girls side and the guys side of it. And there's all these different little communities that you can be integrated in as one team, which is really cool for me. Like I'm a sprinter, but I'm also part of the girls team. And then as a whole, we're also part of one big team. And we try to do a lot of stuff that incorporates the whole team. We do devotionals the day before meet together. We pray on Mondays before practice. And then we also have something called prayer partners, which tries to integrate like all the team together. So, we usually try to have like a sprinter with a thrower, or like try to cross, between the team, get multiple different aspects together. But yeah, it's been really great.
Yeah,
I love the team.
Yeah, sounds like there's a lot of diversity, a lot of different people coming together to make one team. And I'll kind of recall back to an interview we did a few weeks ago on Lander Nation with some of your other teammates, Evan Kurtz and Avery Bellinger, and they're two seniors on the team who have been around for a while. How do you think their leadership as seniors has translated into the success that the team is seeing now?
Yeah. They've definitely been a huge part of it, and all the seniors in the team and those who've even graduated, just setting that expectation that like every day we're here to practice. They joke around when it's time to joke around. They're serious when it's time to be serious, and they've just been great role models coming in. Like I definitely relied on them, asked them a lot of questions. Specifically Evan, just because we both do like the same events. We've gotten to grow really close through that and just been able to cheer each other on in our successes and help each other out when our races don't go so well. But both of them and all the seniors in the team, all the upperclassmen, have been a huge help.
Yeah, awesome. But correct me if I'm wrong. Evan mentioned he did not do track before college. Is that true?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah, he didn't do a lot of sports. I think he said he did soccer like when he was very young, 1 year or something. But he didn't even do sports, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so kind of going into that, how would you talk to a person who was in Evan's shoes coming into college with no experience? What would you say to them if they were remotely interested in joining the track team? Like what kind of place would the track team be for them, and how could they, get integrated with the track team?
Yeah. There's a lot of people on the team who either like came from homeschool or just didn't do track in high school, and they've joined the track team with no previous experience, and they've been super successful. Even if you're just like looking for a place to be with a great team culture, a place that really values our faith first and foremost, and then, values our relationship with each other, it's a great place to be. The coaches help you out a lot. If you're interested, definitely talk to them. But yeah, lots of people have joined who've never had experience, and they've had a lot of success.
Yeah. Awesome. Sounds like a great time. I'm going to kind of backtrack to a few weeks ago now, Nationals was a huge meet for both you and Alexa and the whole Houghton program. I was there, as well as I want to say like most of the track team was there. It was awesome to see all the support. Kind of walk us through what that was like, just the atmosphere of your first Nationals event on the national stage, being able to perform. What was that like?
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. I was just excited to be there. Last year I didn't make it, so this year going into it, I was just excited to be there and compete. My number one goal was just to enjoy the moment, enjoy the experience, and being there with the NCAA. It was super cool. Like, even the whole process from like getting the merch that they gave us to like staying overnight and then just showing up, and there's like the amenities for the track athletes. Like, they really take care of you, and that was so cool just to be there at such a high level. All the energy in the room too, like knowing that you're there with all of these athletes who have been training for so long, and like they're all so dedicated and they're all so talented. It was just like the dream come true. I love track, so being there with all these people that are so obsessed about track as I am, it was super cool.
Yeah, and someone in particular who was in your event and who is also obsessed with track, I'm going to assume, is Lauren Jarrett, who holds the record for the 60 meters. What was it like maybe interacting with her or running against her? Was that extra motivation? How did you respond to that?
Yeah, definitely extra motivation. Going into this meet, I knew like if I wanted to compete with her, I was going to have to be at my best. And I was really glad she was there, because I do want someone who's faster than me to push me. I didn't get to talk to her a whole lot, but from what I did interact with her with, she's super humble, like really nice person. I'm really happy for her. She seems like she deserves everything that she's been accomplishing. I'm sure she puts in all the work. And yeah, I was really excited to race against her. And I think she did push me to do better.
Yeah, awesome. So now talking a little bit about your life as a student athlete here, I know it's very difficult to balance academic, social life, and your sports performance. How do you, as an athlete, a student athlete, deal with that balance?
I think being an athlete almost makes it easier to balance schoolwork. I've heard this from a lot of other people as well, but it's like there's only a certain amount of time that you have to do homework, so you kind of have to do it during that time or it won't get done. And I've noticed that when I do have a break from track and I'm just working on school, I'm not as productive. Like, I just spend a lot more time on my phone, and I don't get as much done. So I think being a student athlete actually personally helps me. I know it's not for everyone, but it helps me be more productive and focus on my studies as well. Yeah,
definitely. Kind of talking about the balance between social life and athletes. I know that there's a lot of blend of that here at Houghton. That's something that I really like about Houghton and the tight-knit community. All the teams are just very close to each other. What's like an activity or an event that track has done, or like a tradition that you've gotten to do with the track team that you really like, that really, builds that community?
Yeah. There's one thing that is just coming to mind. I don't know why, but we do something called the Milk Mile, which I think you heard of. Yeah. But the guys do this. I think the loser of their what is it? Some bracket. I don't know. One of the guys, whatever they lose, like they have to do this Milk Mile. Some of them do it just for fun. I don't know why, but we all gather outside on the outdoor track, and what they do is they drink a full cup of milk, then they run a lap, and they do that for 4 laps until they run a mile.
Wow.
And it's kind of gross, but it's also such a fun, just like a fun team thing to do outside of our sport. So that's super fun.
Yeah, that I've seen some videos of that, and it seems like just a great time. I don't know if it's a great time for the guys running it, but for all of us watching it's so fun to live that through them. Yeah. So next, this is a question that kind of came as a request for me to ask you, and I've gotten this one as an athlete too, because I know that there's a lot of very strong opinions about this subject, especially here at Houghton. What would you say is your favorite post-practice or post-game meal? At the dining hall?
Every single day at practice, I hope that there are tacos. That is my thing. The walking tacos, especially, that's my favorite Mets meal. So that's definitely my favorite. I don't know if it's like the best for recovery or health or strength or whatever, but I just enjoy it. It tastes really good.
Yeah, I fully agree with the walking tacos. Those are always a favorite of ours when we come back from practice. Some of my teammates, they just love to see the walking tacos. So it's a great part of our day. The dining hall always coming in clutch at their practice. So big shout out to the people at Mets working hard every day. So more campus life stuff. As an athlete, as you mentioned before, it's kind of important to balance all of that work and schoolwork. Where is your go-to homework spot on campus?
Ooh. Library, for sure. I have lots of different spots in the library, but recently I just have been going on like main floor. There's a couch off to the side and it's pretty quiet. I like being surrounded by all the books. I also like studying in the children's library section because I'm an elementary education major. So it's fun for me to like see all those books, and it's also usually pretty quiet down there. So either of those spots.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you mentioned your elementary education, right? What do you really like about that program, and what excites you about teaching in elementary school someday?
Yeah. Well, the professors are all super great. They get me very excited to move forward in that profession. The classes are all super fun. My favorite one right now is called Children's Lit. Shout out to Dr. Ann, who's my professor. But we get to read lots of children's books, so it's super fun. And next year I get to start practicum as a junior, which means I'll be in the school 2 times a week. And I'm really excited for that. It's a good way to ease into student teaching.
Yeah, so it definitely seems like there's a lot going on at Houghton at all times, and that's something the school prides itself in. So, like, what is an event that you really enjoy at Houghton, and kind of explain it to the viewer who may not know what the event is at all, and to some students who may not know what the event is at all?
Yeah. So recently, I guess what comes to mind is Hall Brawl, just because that was just a couple weeks ago. I also have the privilege of being an RA here on campus, so I'm involved in like all the residence life stuff. And Hall Brawl is a competition between all the dorms. So like Gillette is versus Landmine, is versus Shen, is versus Roth, is versus the townhouses. Every dorm has its own team. And throughout the week, there's events during the night, and you try to win points for your team. This year, the townhouses won.
Yep.
Shout out townhouses. Finally. But yeah, they put in the work.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just like a super fun way to unite all of campus, and also just be united like as your dorm, which doesn't happen a lot. So it was super fun.
Yeah, you mentioned you're an RA. And as a sophomore, you're RA at the townhouse. I think that's a great opportunity. So kind of talk to us about what that's meant for you, and what you enjoy most about connecting with the people and your fellow RAs on the job. What do you like about being an RA?
Yeah, I love being an RA. This whole experience has been super great. I'm already excited for next year. But being able to have that team of like my townhouse fellow RAs, and even just being able to connect with the residents, connect with everyone on Res Life, and the RDs as well. Like, it's a super uplifting place. Everyone is really positive and encouraging of each other. I am such a people person, so I was really excited when I got this opportunity, because it's literally like a job where I get to meet people, interact with people, and grow relationships. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Kind of encapsulating your student life as a whole, as a student and athlete and a friend. What's one thing about Houghton's campus and your life here at Houghton that you will not forget after graduation?
Definitely the small school aspect of Houghton. That's my favorite thing. Seeing people that I know everywhere I go, like in my classes, on campus. Like, I feel like I know everyone here. I know I don't know everyone here, but it almost feels like that, because I like recognize everyone. I say hi to everyone walking past them on the way to classes. That's just my favorite thing, because being able to grow those relationships and to know everyone. Yeah,
the tight-knit community is what really makes Houghton a great place. All right, well, we are out of time. Thank you, Tori, for joining us for episode 1 of Houghton Unscripted. You can check this out at YouTube, X, and Instagram as well to check out all the clips and the full-length interview. We'll see you next time.